The Tom Mix Ralston Straight Shooters are on the air. And here comes Tom Mix, America's favorite cowboy.
Huck Tony, come on, boy.
Start the morning with hot roasting, and you surely will agree that this warm-up, build-up breakfast gives you cowboy energy. It's delicious and nutritious, made of golden western wheat. Take a tip from Tom, go and tell your mom, hot roasting can't be beat.
The Tom Mix Ralston Straight Shooters present Curly Bradley as Tom Mix in a brand new adventure for the 1980s, The Mystery of the Twisted Trail. A Jim Harmon production with special guest cowboy Jock O'Mahony as Jack Martin. Stand by for a complete half-hour thriller from start to finish.
Howdy, straight shooters. This is Tom Mix, and glad to be back with you. We'd like to bring you a story for everyone in the family, for straight shooters of all ages. Now, this is the story of a man who loved his part of this great West. A man who wouldn't be scared of and who wouldn't let himself be killed of. A good man, but one I had to lock horns with. And here's your announcer, Les Tremaine, to go on with the story.
It was late one fall evening. The moon was bright on the prairie, and the air was crisp. 3 riders were heading back to the TM Bar Ranch. Tom Mix, sitting tall in the saddle of his brown and white marked horse, Tony. Sheriff Mike Shaw on his yellow and black buckskin, and young Pecos Williams, riding Pal, his Palomino. Tom isn't saying much. He listens to Mike and Pecos, and maybe for something else.
Texas Texan tumbleweeds, Pecos. When are you ever going to get old enough to savvy things? Now, everybody knows how a magician gets a rabbit out of a hat.
Well, now, Mike, it just seems to me that there may be more than one way.
Only way this fella could have done it tonight at the meeting hall was to have the rabbit in some trick compartment of the hat.
Well, I still say that would make that stovepipe hat too heavy. He must have had the top sort of hinged. Then he reached through there and another little door in the table and pulled the rabbit up.
I saw the dad-blamed hat. There weren't no hinges on it. Now, hey, Tom, now, would you set this young tumbleweed straight?
Mike, I think that magician back in Dobie got you both to look where he wanted you to. I don't figure he got the rabbit out of the hat at all. It was never in there.
What are you talking about?
Now, I reckon he had the rabbit hid somewhere else, a special pocket in his coat, maybe, and just seemed to pull it from the hat. Now, the main thing about the show tonight, as far as I'm concerned, is that our Janie is going to arrive a day too late to see it.
Say, Tom, you ain't worried about Jane being late, be you?
No, Mike. No, she wired she would take the next train from her boarding school. But there's something else in the wind.
Not much wind tonight.
No, Mike. Just something I sense. A hunch.
Say, I never thought Tom Mix could be superstitious.
Hold on, Pecos. It ain't superstition with Tom. No. I've been around him a lot longer than you, and I remember one time back before I was sheriff. Well, anyway, Tom's nerves and muscles and brains are so finely tuned, it's like one of those long-haired musicians' fancy fiddles. He can sense things you and me miss.
Yeah, I've seen Tom do that.
Hey, smoke. Smoke rising up across the face of the moon.
Looks like it's coming from Jack Martin's place.
Yeah, Martin's got a fire on his hands. He'll need help. Let's ride. Come on.
Boy. Come on, Oh, Buckskin, hold on. Hey, over here. Come on. Hey, watch out.
The ranch house, Mike. Yeah, that fire looks well engaged.
Tom! Tom Mix, oh, thank the Lord you're here, and you, Sheriff Shaw, and you, young man.
I'm Pecos Williams, ma'am.
Hey, Tom, I reckon I better help those cowhands with their bucket brigade.
I'm going with you, Mike.
Yes, go on. Give him a hand, you two. Ellen, where's Jack?
Oh, Tom, he went inside into the fire. He wanted to get our money back.
After the strongbacks, eh? Jack Martin never did trust banks.
But Tom, the fire's too bad. He's got to come out.
Somebody has to bring him out. That looks like it's up to me.
Tom, you shouldn't. But if you only could.
I can, and I will, Ella. Don't worry. I'll get Jack out. Mike, douse me with one of those water buckets.
You got it, Tom. You got it. Here comes a bucket full.
It's sure wet enough. Hell, here I go into that smoke. Jack Martin. That smoke's mighty thick. Might have got to him already. Jack Martin.
Who's that? Is that Tom Mix?
Yeah. You gotta get yourself out of here, man. Ellen's too young to wear black. No money box is worth that.
Well, I found the strong box, Tom. I've got it. I gotta find the ranch ledgers now. I'll need those.
No, Jack, that's pushing it too far. You're coming with me now. You can walk out or I'm going to carry you out. Let's get to that door. Come on, Jack.
I'm with you, Tom. It's getting kind of hot in here.
Well, Miss Martin, ma'am, the ranch house ain't a total loss.
Thanks to you, Sheriff and Pecos, and the rest of our hands.
I reckon all of us, with some help from the rest of the folks around Dobie, can fix up your place good as new.
We're obliged, Pecos. The main thing is Jack's safe, thanks to Tom.
I appreciate all the help I got, Ellen, but Tom, I know you're a mighty big man around these parts. And you help Mike Shaw keep the law whenever he asks you to. And I've heard you got important friends at the state capitol in Washington. All that's well and good, but you're standing on my land, and I'll handle matters in my own way, the way I please.
Oh, Jack, don't be stubborn. Tom's our friend. He can help.
I don't need help. I won't have it.
Jack, you may run this ranch, but you don't run me. You tell Tom about Lucky Houghton, or I will.
See, there's no getting around it now. Yeah. Let's not just stand around. There's some chairs the boys carried out. Let's all sit.
Yeah, I'm going to help the Martin hands clean up this mess, Tom.
All right. It's good work, Pecos. Now, do you want to tell me, Jack?
Well, fact is, a man named Lucky Houghton wants my land, and he'll do anything to get it.
Why?
He wants to build a big resort here, one with gambling for folks from the city. Tom, the Circle Ace is my ranch. I love those trees on the ridge, and, well, I don't want them cut down to make way for a roulette wheel. I want to see the cattle and the horses here, not a bunch of dudes who can't keep their dinero in their pockets.
Houghton doesn't care what we want. He only wants what he wants, and he'll do anything to get it.
Now, this Lucky Houghton has made you an offer for the ranch?
Well, he made me an insult for it. Called me to his room at the Dobie House Hotel. I figured he wanted to buy stock, but he told me he wanted to buy the ranch. As he talked to me, he sat on the edge of the bed and he dealt out a couple of hands of cards to us. Well, the way a lot of gamblers do, always playing with cards. Well, I told him the Circle Ace was built out of my blood and bones, and I wasn't selling a part of myself. He smiled crooked and said,
"You find it mighty unlucky if you don't choose to sell your land to me, Jack Martin. Mighty unlucky. For instance, take a look at those cards you got in the deal."
I picked up the pasteboards, and there it was. Aces and eights. The dead man's hand.
Yeah, Martin. Aces and eights. That hand didn't prove very lucky for old Wild Bill Hickok, and I don't think it'll bring you much better luck if you don't choose to sell to me.
I told him he wasn't scaring me off by dealing me a stacked hand. And he said something else about finding out about the curse of the aces and eights, and I slammed the door on him.
Well, Lucky Houghton may be behind some of your bad luck, Jack. But he didn't bring it on with a cursed hand of cards.
Maybe not, but I figure by the burning of the Circle Ace ranch house, I got the first part of the curse. And there's just one way to keep from getting the second part. That's by gunning down Lucky Houghton.
Oh, Jack, you can't.
I'll say you can't. There's a law against killing folks, and my job as sheriff is to uphold the law. Now, you try gunning down anybody, Jack Martin, and you'll wind up in a Dobie jailhouse.
Mike Shaw is telling you the truth, Jack. The days of the gun law are over. Now, if Lucky Houghton has committed crimes against you, the law will get him for that. But if you start throwing lead, you're going to put yourself on the opposite side of the law, same as Houghton.
You don't have to preach to me. You've thrown plenty of lead yourself, Tom.
Now, I've used my gun. I had to, but I've never murdered anybody, and I know where justice drew the line.
Well, I know what justice calls for. Do you think the law can get Houghton for burning my ranch house?
The law will try, Jack. I know I'll do everything I can to help Mike.
Jack, if you have Tom's word.
Well, I'll give the law a chance, Tom. But I won't wait forever.
Hey, there's a rider coming, Tom. Oh, he's riding hard, too.
Yes, I see.
Hey, there's Riley. He's one of my hands. He was out riding fence.
Boss, by all the saints, I'm bringing you some mighty sorry news. Devil take me if I'm not.
Bad news? I can sure use more of that. You see the main house?
Oh, that I did. And it's a terrible news that I'm bringing you on top of that. Boss, the stream has dried up complete. There's no water in it at all. Your poor cattle will die of thirst.
Lucky Houghton said aces and eights. Curse of aces and eights.
How do aces and eights figure into this thing?
That stream of mine, he winds all around, curves so much we call it the figure eight.
Uh-huh.
So fire burns my ace-high ranch house, and now the water all dries up in the figure eight stream. Doesn't that sound like the curse of aces and eights to you?
Well, Tom Mix doesn't believe in curses, and neither do we. But there's something or someone behind Jack Martin's troubles. It looks like it might be the gambler Lucky Houghton. But we haven't come to the end of this trail yet. And we will find the solution in the conclusion to The Mystery of the Twisted Trail. And now, back to Tom Mix. Tom Mix is investigating a series of disasters at Jack Martin's Circle Ace Ranch, supposedly caused by gambler Lucky Houghton's curse of aces and eights. The sun is bright as Tom and Pecos ride their horses along the winding course of a dried-up stream bed.
How long do we keep following the stream bed, Tom?
Until we get to the point where the water stops, Pecos. Flow of the stream had to be cut off at some particular point.
Oh, I suppose so. Do you think Sheriff Mike can keep Jack Martin under control while we do this thing?
Well, that's why I left him there. I'm hoping he can.
Well, seems like a lot of time has passed since yesterday morning when I woke up. Sure could use some shut-eye and a better breakfast than chewing on some of this beef jerky from the saddlebag.
It's not like you to complain, Pecos.
Oh, I'm not complaining, Tom. After all, this is a wonderful experience for me. Toughen me up in case I want to get a job walking on nails in the circus or some such. Say, Tom, I can see something up ahead.
Yeah, I see it too, Pecos. It's a crude dam across the stream. It was no supernatural curse that cut off the flow of water to Jack Martin's ranch. Just a man-made dam.
Sure is simple. Whoever did this must have known it wouldn't take us long to discover this.
Well, that's right, Pecos. Let's get off these horses. We'll make too good a target sitting here.
Yeah. Now, Tom.
Now, we advance on foot, but slowly. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, you two. With which are you up to around this place, eh?
Looks like a logger, Tom. A lumberjack.
Yeah, that's what he appears to be, and a big one. Howdy. We were just wondering what happened to the stream. I guess this dam explains it.
What is this to you, huh?
Well, my name is Tom Mix. I'm helping Sheriff Mike Shaw look into this business. That's Pecos Williams.
Him I never hear of. You I hear of. Also the sheriff, but what do you care about my dam?
Oh, so it is your dam. Don't you realize that shutting off all water downstream, people and cattle depend on that water?
Say what? I hear first. Me, Andre Lamont, I got to eat too, you know. The logging company, she fired me. I fight too much for them. I come all the way from north of the border to get fired. Now I got to make dam to catch fish to eat.
Well, of course, there is mountain trout in there, but a lot more than one man could eat.
Oh, so I sell extra fish to people in town for extra supplies. I hear first.
Andre, I'm sorry if you don't understand all our laws, but this dam has got to go. I'm going to wait out there and start kicking it apart now.
Oh, me, I think I kick you apart instead. I hear Tom Mix is a big man, but no man bigger than Andre Lamont. I prove this.
Galloping horn-toads, here he comes. He's too big to fight, Tom. Shoot him in the leg or something.
No guns.
Andre Lamont, the big lumberjack, is a head taller than Tom and heavier by the weight of a side of beef. Yet Tom stands easy, poised on his toes as the giant charges.
Get you there.
Tom sidesteps the charge like a matador moving out of the way of a bull. And as Andre goes by, Tom clips him on the side of the jaw with a hard right fist.
Sting Andre with that needle blow. You pay for that.
Try and collect her.
Tom lands punch after telling punch on the big man's head in midsection. Andre throws one great roundhouse punch that can't miss at these close quarters. But Tom manages to take most of its force on his shoulder. But then, Tom can't back up. The footing on the shore of the stream is slippery. Andre closes in and grabs Tom with one bear-like arm in a grip as strong and secure as a bear trap. Andre's free hand moves. There is a flash in the sunlight.
You ever see knife like this, Tom Mix? It's good for cleaning fish and other things.
Sorry to break your knife with that bullet, Mr. Lamont, but that's not going by the rules around here.
Yeah, thank you, Pecos. Now all I have to do is break his grip on me.
You think you do this?
Man can do what he put his mind to.
Tom braces his hands against the inside forearms of the giant and slowly forces those arms apart. Andre's face dissolves into disbelief. No man has ever before broken his grip. And then, as if to end the big man's confusion, one of Tom's fists lashes out at the point of Andre's jaw, and the lumberjack goes down.
Oh, such a blow from such a little fellow. No more than 6 feet tall.
Listen, Andre, I've fought enough with you. A big fella like you could keep on like this all day.
No.
But you lay there quiet or Pecos and I are just going to throw ropes on you. And keep you quiet until we get a few answers.
I have decided you and me, we be great friends. I don't fight with friends. No, not much. What answers do you talk about, eh?
Did somebody put you up to constructing that dam? Did the name Lucky mean anything to you?
By God, I no feel very lucky today, no? Nobody give me idea to make dam. I dumb enough to think of it by myself.
You know, Tom, I think Andre here is telling the truth.
Yeah, so do I, Pecos. This dam shutting off the Figure 8 stream had nothing to do with any of Lucky Houghton's schemes for the so-called curse of aces and eights. It was just a coincidence.
This trail sure has a lot of twists in it.
A lot of twists, Pecos. After we break up this dam, we've got to pick up Janie at the train station. I hope Mike Shaw can keep a tight rein on Jack Martin for a few more hours.
Oh, Tom, it's just great to be back here, sitting in front of the fireplace at the TM bar again.
And it's sure great to have you back with us for the holidays, Janie. You know, I don't have to ask you how you're getting along at that boarding school. Those fine grades tell me.
Oh, I'm learning a lot. I miss all of you here. You and Tony and Sheriff Mike, Doc Green, Pecos.
Well, no more than we all miss you. You know, honey, There's a paper somewhere that says the court made you my ward after your father disappeared. But ward is a mighty cold word. You know, you'll always be like my own daughter to me. Come here and give old Tom a big hug.
Oh, Tom, you were telling me about what was going on around here with Jack Martin?
Oh, yes, I figured you'd want to know after Pecos brought it up on the trip in from the train station.
That reminds me of something that happened at school. One of the girls, Agnes, was accused of stealing a kerchief, a fancy neckerchief, you know, by another girl, Betty. Well, they had a big argument, yelling at each other. But Betty wanted to search Agnes's things for the stolen kerchief.
Oh, I see.
And Agnes said that she should have to prove her innocence no more than any other girl in the school. All that was against her was Betty's accusation, and that was because Betty just didn't like her.
Well, I suspect that somebody had a way out of this dilemma. Wasn't you by any chance?
Well, I suggested that maybe all the girls in the class could have their things searched. Everybody, not just Agnes. Nobody liked having their things gone through, but a crime had been committed, and everybody had to make a sacrifice to find the guilty person.
Well, it sounds like a good solution, Janie.
In theory. Of course, we found the kerchief on the floor under an unused seat. Nobody was sure how it got there.
Yeah, but the theory is good, Janie. You know, if I treat Jack Martin and Lucky Houghton equally, not accusing either one of them, and not presuming either guilty, I might make some peace. Yeah. But I'll set up a meeting between Jack Martin and Lucky Houghton at some neutral meeting place. At the Dobie House Hotel.
Oh, Tom, that's a good idea.
Mr. Mix, Sheriff Shaw, and you, Martin. We meet so soon again at the Dobie House.
Yeah, Houghton. And not in your room this time. This time it's all out in the open right here in the lobby. Kind of unusual for you.
I'm always out in the open. I play the cards as they fall.
Or maybe you deal the cards the way you want them to fall.
Now, hold on, you two. I invited you both here as a gentleman's parley about the trouble between you. Now, that's only going to work if you two stop throwing insults and try to get down to the facts.
Yeah, Tom's talking sense. Now, I want you two to shake hands and come out. No, that's not what I want. I want for you to do what Tom says. It seems everybody around here jumps when Tom Mix says to. The sheriff, you, Martin.
I'm here the same as you, Houghton.
I don't suppose you're going to try to blame me for your stream drying up. I hear it's running again.
Stream is running. Tom explained that. You had nothing to do with it.
But in a way, I did have something to do with it. I happened to deal the cards. The dead man's hand, aces and eights, to you, and inadvertently put the curse on you.
Now, hold on, Hal. You keep getting this curse business mixed up in your offer to buy Jack's ranch. Now, if you have nothing to do with the things of the so-called curse happening, why do you think they will stop when you take over the land?
Oh, let's say that by selling, Martin will divest himself of the things connected with the curse. The Circle H, the Figure 8, or say whatever you like. I don't care what you believe. There's big men and big money behind me. We aim to have the Circle H for our gambling resort, and we will have it.
Well, Lucky Houghton, I got something that'll beat a hand of aces and eights.
A pair of sixes.
Tom, Jack pulled leather.
Easy,
A
Jack.
pair of six shooters from under his coat.
Yeah, I see.
Gunplay. I don't think you're going to shoot me down in front of Mix and the sheriff.
Don't be so sure, Houghton. I figure I got nothing to lose. The next thing on your agenda is probably having me killed. Well, I might as well get you first.
Now, listen, Martin. I know when a man is bluffing at a game, and I can see you aren't. Suppose I confess. We were trying to scare you off. We did put a smoke bomb in your house just to cause smoke. We didn't expect it to start a fire.
Whatever you say you expected, that's enough to send you up for several years, Houghton.
Maybe he won't go to prison. I can't take a chance. Not with my life, and more important, Ellen's life. I'm gunning this snake.
Then you'll have to shoot through me, Jack. I invited you and Houghton here under a flag of truce. I gave Lucky my word the same as you, and I can't let you shoot him. And I can't let you become a crawling thing like Lucky Houghton, somebody who uses violence to get what he wants. Now, if you do that, you'll become what you hate, and you'll go on hating yourself.
You're right, Tom. Anyway, I could never shoot a man like you.
Very pretty speech, Mr. Mix. And now, while you're in front of me covering my exit, I'll just go out through this door. These stakes are getting too high for me. Tom, I couldn't get a clear shot at him. You were in front of him. Tom, I want that man for arson and attempted murder.
You stay here with Jack. After the fire and all, he looks about to keel over. I'll get Mr. Lucky Houghton. Oh, there's Amos Snood's Dobie House delivery truck pulling away. And there's Jane waiting at the hitching post the way I told her. Janie, did you see a tall, well-dressed man get in that delivery truck?
Yes, Tom. He sure didn't look like one of Snood's workmen.
No, he wasn't. He's a crook that might want it. No cars around. Well, it's you and me, Tony, old boy. We'll have to go after him. Not much chance of catching a truck on a horseback, but we'll try.
Tom, Tony can do it. Tony's the greatest horse in the world.
Yes, Janie, I think he is. Now, Tony, we're going to have to prove it. Come on, boy. Yeah.
Tom Mix gallops out of town to strike Tony. But as the stores and houses fall behind them, Tom cuts off the main road and begins going over rough ground, dotted with sage. The road curves, but Tom is taking a straight line, halving the distance. Then, coming at them from an angle, there is the delivery truck driven by Lucky Houghton.
There he is, Tony. Let's get him, son. Come on, you can do it, boy.
The horse and rider, the truck, they come together from different angles. Tom swings Tony alongside the truck, and for a moment, the matchless strides of Tony, each one delivered with a beat from his fighting heart, each one a gift to his partner, Tom. The horse's strides keep up with the machine. And Tom Mix defies gravity as only his skill can let him, and leaps from his wonder horse to the running board of the truck. He opens the door, shoves Lucky Houghton aside, and yanks on the emergency brake.
There. Now we're stopped, Houghton.
Yeah, the end of the line. You know, Mix, those aces and eights that I dealt, maybe they were meant for me.
Houghton, it's just as I've always told Janie. Lawbreakers always lose. Straight shooters always win. It pays to shoot straight.
Tom Mix and his Ralston Straight Shooters was written, produced, and directed by Jim Harmon. Tom Mix was played by Curly Bradley, with Jack Lester as Mike, Jim Harmon as Pecos, Jock O'Mahony as Jack, Art Hearn as Houghton, Virginia Gregg as Jane, and this is Les Tremaine. Production, Barbara Gratz, Steve Markham. Join us next time when the Tom Mix Ralston Straight Shooters are on the air.
Start the morning with hot roasting, and you surely will agree that this warm-up, build-up breakfast gives you cowboy energy. It's delicious and nutritious, made of golden western wheat. Take a sip from Tom, go and tell your mom hot roasting can't be beat.